Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Martha Matters Show. We're talking today about real estate and buying real estate. Now, here she is, your host, Martha.
Well, hi there, and welcome. It's nice with us getting through the holidays, and they've generally been very nice in this area. We had a little rain, but nothing that really dampens anything or causes any flooding or issues. And just everybody seemed really vibrant, like it's only the second year since the pandemic, and people are still feeling the importance of celebrating good holidays. And I'm so glad to see it. Well, I want to talk today about how real estate is coming and options of purchase. What I can say for the buyer, even if they're a partially cash buyer, like will give a large down payment and a smaller mortgage, if the seller says, oh, let me finish out the season here in Florida, and maybe we won't close until May or June, if that's okay with you. And what I'm saying to the buyer, I would accept that. I'll tell you why. Just a few weeks ago, very short time ago, I was talking about mortgages, and that this next year the mortgage rates are going to be coming down, namely because the federal government is going to be reducing the interest rate. And it is, if you get a mortgage of any kind, even if you pay cash now, but after you buy the place, you ask for a credit loan or an increase or a fixer-upper loan or a construction loan, it's good to wait 6 months, because between now and June, the interest rates are going down. And I was very pleased to hear more recently, before Christmas, the interest rate already has gone down from a 7% mortgage to in the 6s. And it should go down a lot more by the time June comes. So if the seller needs a delay, or they're elderly and they're having trouble to schedule anything from movers to where they're moving to whatever issues, be congenial and let them have their time and accept the delay. Because if you're getting a mortgage or credit loan of any kind, whatever months you wait, believe me, the rates are going to be going down. And that is fabulous, especially if you get a 30-year mortgage or a 20-year mortgage, even a 15-year mortgage. Interest rates mean a lot. It's money that you just plain give to the bank, and it doesn't reduce your principal.
So, Martha, you said on a previous show that some of these interest rates coming down are because it is an election year, a presidential election year, and you think that that's what kind of is the catalyst that makes, you're laughing, the catalyst that makes this happen.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That plays a big role in it. Everything was a mess, and they don't care. After they're elected, they don't care how much of a mess they make. Take a look at what just happened. But when it comes close to election time, we'll take care of these issues. We'll be Mr. Perfect.
So what's your crystal ball kind of take on this? Like, how long you think somebody should wait? Is it going to be good from, say, June? And I know this is kind of a mute question, but is it going to be good from June till like November, like the day after election, watch out kind of thing?
Yeah,
you think?
Maybe. I was going to say June through October, or June through mid-October, October 15th. After then, people don't want to get a mortgage at all until after they find out who's elected.
Okay.
So there'll be a quiet period there from October 15th till November 15th, when all the votes are counted and we know what's what.
Okay.
If somebody wins by a landslide, if it's a close call. So try not to buy anything right during the election time. That was a very good question because most people don't think of that.
Well, you're right. Well, you said it previous. That's how I got the information. But I mean, it's kind of funny in one way, but it really isn't.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
There's another kind of person looking to buy a house, what I call an empty nester. Mm-hmm. The first situation, the reason I said June is because if you have any children going to elementary or high school, it's good to get them registered in June and with a legal address so that you won't have any issues when school opens. Remember, down here, school opens near the beginning of August, not September like it does up north. So that's the only reason I mentioned June there. But for the second group, the empty nesters, especially if they're a cash buyer and can close at any time, if the seller says, "Oh, we love you, we want you to buy the house, but we're so old and we can't move into our new place for 3 months, and I have to organize the movers, the moving vans, all of that stuff. Can we have a delay of 3 or 5 months?" And if I were the buyer, I'd say yes, but in exchange for that, we think your patio furniture is absolutely gorgeous. Would you mind leaving that for us? That's one thing we don't need to do when we move in, or something like that. Or we love the chandelier. Could you leave it unless it's a family heirloom or something? And don't be shy is what I'm saying, to ask for a couple of smaller favors like that, and be very congenial and say, "We fully understand, we'll gladly wait." And it saves so much trouble of making a realtor negotiate where they all of a sudden stop trusting one another. You don't want that to happen. You want everything to go smooth and nobody to nitpick. So, but if one party asks for a favor, don't be shocked if the other party says, "Oh, well, could I have this favor also?"
Okay.
And see if you can't just calmly do it quietly together. Realtors can do that, but whenever there's a third party and they don't talk to one another except the third party, there's a mistrust, and it means so much if you just hear it right from the horse's mouth and each favor they have to ask. I think that's really important. Also now, if you're a third group of buyers and you definitely want a mortgage, oh wow, I can give you a few mortgage options. But let me tell you, again, if you can avoid a delay of any kind for the rates to come down a little more, even 1/4 of a point, 1/2 a point, a full point, nobody knows what will happen. We just know that the current administration is really bent on reducing inflation, and it has to be reduced expenses. So therefore, interest rates now have got to go down once people stop spending. So it's very, very important to see what the interest rates are going to be. And if you're buying a house and you definitely want a mortgage, before we even go through details of mortgage companies, I want you right away, even before you make an offer. A realtor shows you several homes and you're making your mind up between one of 2 or 3 homes, and you'll have your decision in a day or 2. By all means, go to the bank or the mortgage company that you are applying for a mortgage and get a letter of approval. When you make an offer to the house of your choice, give them a copy of your mortgage approval letter. That will keep the seller from raising the price. Oh, you're getting a mortgage, so we won't know if we have a deal for a while, or something like this, something like that. Giving them the bank letter of approval simply means that they should rest assured you've already been pre-approved for a mortgage by one or two companies, and so it's not as much of a risk factor. It is a risk factor until all the signatures are signed. At closing, we know that. But the risk is so much less if they are pre-approved. So if you're serious about getting a mortgage right up front, please go ahead of time and get a pre-approval letter at the bank of your choice. It's usually one that you deal with, that you have savings accounts, investment accounts with. It doesn't have to be, though. If a friend of a friend approved a mortgage company, there's nothing wrong with that. But whatever the case is, get a pre-approval letter ahead of time, and it makes you a really Class A prime buyer. Don't wait until you find the house and then have to search for the mortgage.
Does that kind of, doing that, Martha, getting the pre-approval letter, does that kind of put you in the category of people that are paying cash? Because that way you know, like, if you're going to be pre-approved for $400,000, just for argument's sake. In other words, you have that $400,000 at you're ready to spend on the house.
Yes, in some cases that is true.
Okay.
Most cases, not all.
Okay.
They go by your, if you're still employed, they go by if your income is enough to pay the mortgage payments, not necessarily the entire $400,000.
Okay.
But in some cases, it is. It means that you have a credit line, or you have no problem with all your assets, liquid and solid, where they would give you $400,000 cash, and you could make it to the buyer like a cash buyer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
And then between you and the bank on paying back the cash, make your own arrangements.
Okay.
Yes, that's been done quite a few times.
Okay. It seems like it's more peace of mind when you do something like that.
It's certainly peace of mind to the seller.
Yeah.
Because cash is king, and it is, and it always will be.
Right, yeah. And you're kind of locked in with it that way, too, from what my mindset is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So there are several mortgage companies. I've tried to do the top 3, 4, or 5 that are the most often used and the most completed mortgages, so it means that they're successful. One of them is Rocket Mortgage. They have different phone numbers for different parts of the country, but Rocket Mortgage is even on the computer. You can look it up. And it is, they're very good on giving anywhere from 8 to 20 years fixed mortgage. In other words, you could get a fixed mortgage for as little as 10 years. If you want, say you have enough cash to buy the house, but it will leave you cash poor and you don't want to build up your credit cards, which are pretty exorbitant rates, and anything from 16% to 30%, they're ridiculous. So if you want like a $10,000 mortgage because you're redoing the kitchen or redoing the 2 bathrooms, Rocket Mortgage will give you a mortgage with a 10-year maturity, and it's going to be way, way less. It may even be 5%, 4%, something like that, something that it makes your credit cards totally not even worth talking about. So that's very good to know. The other one is called New American Funding, NAF. And most people haven't heard of that because they hear of all the banks and none of the other things. But you can get from them as little as $100,000 with an online application. For those of you who are comfortable with computers, and you'll be approved in like about 6 hours. They're very, very, very fast.
And that's for either mortgages or, like you're saying, for home equity and those kind of things
Yes.
as well? Yeah.
Yes.
All online.
They will do you a credit line, but they can't do it as a home equity until you purchase the house.
Okay, right.
Because it's because only then an equity loan is against the property more than it is against you. So you have to have the property before you get a home equity loan.
But if you owned a house, could you go to them, do you know, for an equity line? It just seems...
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
even after the point of fact.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
And it's so fast, and it's an easy application. You don't have to give you don't have to Xerox every page of your tax return and something like that. They really slim it down. I think they only want the front page of your taxes. If you're one of those people that has like 60 pages,
Yeah.
it really makes it a nuisance. The banks want all 60 pages when you show up in person, but these mortgage companies, especially online, they just want to see that you're up to date, that you haven't been audited, and they're very happy with the front page only. They save you all kinds of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, actually another two. There's the veterans VA mortgages. They are absolutely fabulous if you're a veteran. Why are they fabulous? Oh, wow. Because no money down at all.
Right.
So on that notice, I'll tell you more about it, but we need to take a quick break. So stay with us, and I'll give you a little more information. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
Right now at Sunshine Furniture, it's holiday sale time, so you can save up to 50% on selected groups of indoor and outdoor furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Telescope, Windward, Capri, Seawinds, Universal, and lots more. Sofas, love seats, dining sets, patio groups, occasional chairs, bedroom sets, all on sale just in time to make Santa say ho, ho, ho. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half off. And don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store just across the street from our main location for lots of great holiday bargains. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza next to Planet Fitness in Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture. Furniture brightens up your day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine Furniture.
Sure, they were born in Jersey, but they were made in America. An attitude and a sound like no other. Jersey Boys is the international musical phenomenon that takes you behind the scenes and behind the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
I'll go on living and keep on forgiving because
Who knew four guys from New Jersey would turn the world upside down with a unique sound that nobody had heard, but radio couldn't get enough of? Over 10 years on Broadway, winner of 4 Tony Awards with worldwide performances. It's the award-winning musical of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, featuring over 15 of their certified gold songs, and you know them all. Jersey Boys opens January 2nd at Vero's magnificent Riverside Theater, but you don't have to wait. Get your best tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
Back with Martha and the Martha Matters.
Well, hi there. We were just getting started on veterans' VA mortgages. And like I said, 0 down, that's fabulous. But the mortgage rate, even now, it changes a little bit weekly, but it's in the 4% range, not the 7 and 6% range. So that you can have any mortgage from $100,000 up to $350,000. They do not give mortgages higher than $350,000. Now you can pay $600,000 for a house, and the rest of it is cash, and $350,000 is a VA mortgage. So they don't care about the price. They're just saying that the mortgage amount can't be higher than $350,000 per person.
Could you, doing that, Martha, could you go to 2 mortgage companies, do a VA, and then get another mortgage, or is that not allowed?
You can. It has to be done very carefully.
Okay.
The VA would be your first recorded mortgage.
Right.
And a second mortgage would take the second position. They're not equally sharing the number 1 spot. That's the only problem. But it's not a problem if your credit rating's good, and they'll gladly give you another mortgage. So that is good. And then there's one other one on Veterans United, it's called, as opposed to a VA mortgage. And depending if you were an officer or you were enlisted for more than 15 years, up to 20 years, something like that, they may have even extra benefits for you. So it's worth asking for that under the name of Veterans United. Now, buying a property with an existing mortgage, you've got to be very careful with that. It's not a negative thing, especially if you have, if there's an existing mortgage with 2 or 3% interest, and you would love to take that one over. But remember, you're assuming the seller's debt. You're not assuming things, latent defects in the house. That's up to your inspections to determine. And if they can't find them, then you have no recourse against the seller whatsoever. Remember, though, you need to have full responsibility for the money owed to the bank or the mortgage company. So on that note, we've got to really take off. If you have more questions, always call us right here at Evergreen. Have a great week.